George Zimmerman was found not guilty for the death of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin on Saturday evening after a jury of 6 women deliberated for more than 16 hours in Sanford, Florida. Zimmerman pleaded not guilty to charges of second-degree murder, saying he had shot an unarmed Martin in self-defense. The case began to captivate the entire country after news broke that Zimmerman had not been arrested following the shooting.
I think first and foremost, not guilty does not mean that George Zimmerman was innocent. You know, as we've said before, we respect the rule of law and we will accept the verdict, but I don't agree with the verdict, and we will continue to fight in the name of Trayvon and for equal justice to make sure that this doesn't happen to somebody else's child.
We saw on Twitter, and we've seen various statements, but if you look at my screen here on Twitter, Tracy Martin saying, "God blessed me and Sabrina with Trey, and even his death. I know my baby proud of the fight we, along with all of you, put up for him. God bless." And adding, "Even though I am brokenhearted, my faith is unshattered. I will always love my baby Trey." Have you heard anything else from them?
You know, I think that message pretty much says it all, and certainly they're brokenhearted. The legal team is brokenhearted. But I am just so proud of all of us that we had the ability to get up tomorrow and to continue working in the name of Trayvon, and I didn't know that would be the case. But the reason that I feel we were able to do that is really the love and support of everybody. We got calls from London yesterday. We got emails from Morocco. I mean, literally the entire world came to us yesterday. President Obama issued that statement. We've gotten support from Bernice King, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. So, you know, it's really on the love of other people that we're able to stand right now, and then the parents are able to stand and keep fighting to create change.
What was your assessment of the prosecution's case? There are some people who were frustrated with the verdict, but equally frustrated with the prosecution's, attempts to really make this case go through. They said they didn't try a good case. What do you say?
I have no criticisms of the prosecution. I will say that the prosecution stood beside the family when nobody else would, including the state attorney's office in Sanford, Florida. They certainly did not cause this case. The fact that the Sanford Police Department failed to arrest George Zimmerman really created an uphill battle for the prosecution in terms of some of the evidence. But I think that they put on enough evidence for a second degree. I think that they certainly put on enough evidence for the manslaughter charge. So I have no criticism of the prosecution. And John Guy's opening and closing were two of the most brilliant opening and closings I've ever heard.
You say they made a case for second-degree murder. We may disagree, but certainly manslaughter was viable. What do you think was going through the jury's mind for them to come out of that deliberation and say not guilty?
You know, I don't want to speculate as to what was going on in the juror's mind or, you know, start attacking the jury on this issue because, as I said before, this whole entire issue was created by George Zimmerman, and he also placed the jury in that position. But I will say that I'm not sure that, you know, it was a jury of Trayvon Martin's peers.
So should I take that to mean that race was certainly a factor, you think, in how they made sense of Trayvon and how they made sense of the evidence?
You know, I don't want to say that race was a factor. I think that I don't want to say race because we had a lot of supporters, black, white, and brown. So, you know, we had a lot of white supporters, but I will say that a certain level of ignorance and bigotry may have been a factor, because I think that there were people for us on the jury and people who were against us on the jury.